What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, man. We got another pay-per-view coming up in a couple weeks. Terence Bud Crawford versus Amir Khan. And Amir Khan is thinking he's got a good shot to win. Gonna start covering this fight more the closer we get to it. This is a very interesting matchup, man. It's a big name against big name. Saturday, April 20th. On pay-per-view on ESPN, and Amir Khan says that he is going to introduce Terence Crawford to the welterweight division, that he believes that Terence Crawford is not proven at welterweight and that he has the speed, the power, and the experience to beat him. So let's chop it up about that. I've been watching a lot of Terence Crawford film. I'm going to be looking at a lot of Amir Khan film as well, so I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. And before I do that, though, I want to welcome you back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, check out the live stream that we're going to have every Monday through Friday, start time between 10:30 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. And also check out the Patreon. We got some stuff coming out there this week. I think that you'll really enjoy it. That is for the regular consistent subscribers. Now, all right, man. I'm looking forward to this fight, man. I was watching Terence Crawford versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. I watched some Terence Crawford. I watched a couple amateur fights of Terence Crawford just to see how he's progressed through his career. Obviously, we watched the last several fights real time with Terence Crawford also. And man, Terence Crawford is going to be very, very hard for Amir Khan to beat. But I do think that there are some things that he can do that will increase his likelihood of doing that. And I'll discuss that a little bit later in the video. But let's go over what he says first and what his impressions, what Amir Khan's impressions of the fight is. He said, first of all, Terence Crawford, is moving up to 147. He's had one or two fights in the division against lower caliber fighters who I would probably beat myself as well. I just feel he's fighting the best in the division at the time, or he's not fighting the best in the division at the time. He's going to be tested. I've got the speed, I've got the power, I've got the explosiveness, I've got the size. This is going to be one of the first times I've gone into a fight as an underdog, but as the bigger guy. Normally, I go into the fight as a smaller guy and the underdog. In this fight, I'm the underdog, but I'm the bigger guy. I've got more experience and I probably have the better resume. I know Terence is unbeaten and he has a great resume and looked good in his recent fight, but I feel he's a little too much for him. He is quite new to the welterweight division. I have the speed, the power, the experience to introduce him to the welterweight division and show him what the welterweight division is all about. He's up there in the top 5 pound for pound. There are a lot of great fighters in boxing. He's up there. I don't have him at number 1 or number 2. He is very dangerous. He's very tough to beat, but I really believe I have the skills and tools to do that. I don't believe Crawford has proven himself in the welterweight division as of yet. To beat him will be even harder, but I believe I can do this. So yeah, that's pretty much what he has to say about it. And this is my thought, man. There is definitely a way that any one fighter can beat another fighter if they're of somewhere within the relatively the same talent level, same skill level, right? Same physical condition, all that. There's a way. There's a way to get something done. Like that old saying, where there's a will, there's a way. The thing that Amir Khan has that he does very well is he's got a very good jab. He's got a very good straight right hand. And he's an excellent boxer. I think he has good footwork. He's nimble. He's a solid fighter. Of course, we know what the Achilles heel is on Amir Khan, and that's his chin. If he can find a way if he is able to take the shots from Terence Crawford, and he's able to keep a jab in Terence Crawford, actually not a jab, if he's able to use that straight right hand, lead right hand on Terence Crawford, because One thing I'll say, man, about some of these guys in the UK, man, especially like with Kell Brook, they fight pretty well against southpaws, man. I think that they're trained. In the lead up to fights, as they're being developed. This is definitely the case for Kell Brook. I got to look a little bit more carefully into Amir Khan, but they go through periods of time of making sure that they fight 3-4 southpaws. And I get in trouble for saying this with Terence Crawford fans. I don't really see Terence Crawford as somebody that really switches. I see Terence Crawford as somebody that's a southpaw. And I think that Amir Khan is he's pretty decent with southpaws. At least that's what he says. I got to go back and look at that a little bit. But I think that if he's able to really use his straight right hand, he's able to keep space, and he does not get into exchanges with, he's got a chance to continue. To do pretty decently against Terence Crawford while it lasts. But again, man, the thing with Terence Crawford is that I really like about Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford really is a fighter. And Terence Crawford is willing to stand in there. He's willing to, I wouldn't say he's willing to trade, but he's in the midst. He really does stand there in the midst of the storm, man, and let his hands go. He's able to slip a good amount of the punches, but he's able to he gets hit his fair amount as well. So, if Amir Khan is able to take advantage and catch Terence Crawford in one of those exchanges, but be patient, stay outside. And man, one of the things I like about Terence Crawford, man, is the more I watch him, is his use of his hands. If Amir Khan is able to, I don't say ignore his hands, but I think that that's a good part of it, because Terence Crawford feints a lot with his hands. Plays, lifting his left hand, moving his right hand, kind of spinning his hands around, shifting his shoulder left, shifting his shoulder right, all trying to get you to get you to move and react one way or the other. And when he sees which way you're reacting based on what he does with his hands, and I'm not talking about like all the way out punches. I mean, just literally the way when he's in his guard, repositioning his hands up, positioning, switching up, switching them down, kind of like half-hearted feints. All of that was getting a lot of the fighters that I see him fighting, get them out of position, getting them, telling him what he's going to do. And I just think to myself, man, sometimes like if somebody would just really put a lot of pressure on Terence Crawford and not allow any of that thinking, any of that chess match to take place, they're going to stand a lot better chance, man, because you're going to have Terence Crawford reacting to punches and not being able to just read whatever you're about to do and sit there, pretty much use his hand movements to read your mind. So if Amir Khan is able to put that type of pressure on there, be very active with his jab, of course, Terence Crawford is going to come over that jab, man. Terence Crawford also has got very, very nasty left hooks to the body, right hooks to the body. It's going to be a lot for Amir Khan to deal with, and more than likely Amir Khan's not going to be able to deal with it. And, like I said, his Achilles heel is his chin. But I think that there is a way that he can get it done. Of course, this fight, 90% Terence Crawford, 10% Amir Khan. But Amir Khan does have power. He does have speed. He does have length, right? He does have a lot of experience. And it's going to depend on whether or not Terence Crawford really can catch him. If Terence Crawford can't catch him and really hurt him and knock him out, the fight might be closer than somebody expect, than a lot of people think. But I still think, of course, Terence Crawford wins this fight. Now, the interesting thing for this fight for me is going to be how well Terence Crawford performs at the box office. It's a good name for in Amir Khan. He's a known commodity. I just wonder whether or not there's going to be a lot of buzz for the fight because of the fact that Amir Khan talks about his resume and having what he thinks might be a better resume than Terence Crawford. Yeah, I mean, if you erase those 3, knockouts, then yeah, you might. He definitely would if he wouldn't have lost the fights that he won. I mean, if he would have won the fights that he lost. But hey, man, that's not the case. So anyway, man, I'm looking forward to this. I'm trying to find some silver line and some reason to get excited. Like I don't think that there's any of the, that stuff that happened with Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia, where you're going to have a lot of people making predictions that Amir Khan sees something, and generating a lot of interest for the fight. But I hope that does take place, because that way there can be a lot of pressure and a lot of on the PBC on trying to make Terence Crawford versus some of the other guys there. Errol Spence Jr. obviously is the big one. Then Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, all of the like. Anyway, it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. And with that, I'm out.